Who are the coolest dudes on the planet?
United States veterans.
What's the coolest sport on the planet?
Pro wrestling.
And what would be the coolest podcast on the planet? That would be this one.
U.S. military vets talking pro wrestling.
This is the No Shave Man Cave. Two badass disabled vets sharing their love of pro wrestling, giving you their perspective as fans, talking about current events and matches, history of titles, and who knows what else. Let's do it.
Welcome to the No Shave Men Cave. Now your hosts, Ellie Jair and Jay Tilley.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, wrestling fans, and sports entertainment fans, welcome to the No Shave Man Cave. I'm Ellie Jair.
I am Jay Tilley.
Man, what's your favorite candy bar? Hershey's? Because that's where the WWE brought Monday Night Raw from. And the crowd was...
dead?
Yeah, it must have been a little hot under the lights and they get a little soft. But there were a couple of pops there, and I really enjoyed the show for the threads, the work rate, and the entertainment, even including all of the attacks. It didn't quite feel like for those of you who don't have the executive $19.99 per second, not a real thing, simulcast. I'm doing air quotes here, but yeah, it just seemed like the traditional go-home show where they solidify and strengthen multiple storylines. The only thing they did was plant a little seed of doubt in the show with the Cody and Brock Lesnar story, and everything else they're gonna have to button it up on SmackDown. So, but yeah,
I agree. I thought, I agree with parts of it. I agree it wasn't a great grow home show, and I was not nearly as high on this Raw as you.
Oh,
I don't know, man. it was something about it. It didn't click well. I liked the Cody stuff, the attack. I mean, I had issues with it. I loved not issues, but it made me chuckle where it was like, the commentator's like, yeah, earlier today, Cody arrived. And then they act shocked when he got attacked. I'm like, well, if it was earlier in the night, then you guys probably already knew. But whatever. So I let that go. But then yeah, there was something off about the whole show. I didn't feel it. Like so last Monday, I think it was, we talked about all the thought they put into the show with, the stuff with Paul Heyman and the ongoing storyline with the Judgment Day and all that. I just felt like that wasn't there on this show. I felt the only thread throughout the entire show was the Cody stuff. And even, I mean, there was a couple of good things on it, but the Paul Heyman opening up in the ring and then snaking out when the KO and Sammy come out, I was like, oh, okay, they're going to do more stuff. No, that was it. He wasn't there the rest of the time. We didn't hear anything else about it. I thought that was weird. Then with KO and Sammy in the ring, why did Imperium come out just to turn around and leave again? Like, yeah. I thought, okay, they're going to do the match to open it, and then they didn't. I just felt the match was the show was very clunky. And then even like some of the highlight parts of the show, because I really liked the Bronson Reed Ricochet match.
Oh,
but even
man, that was really
But there were parts of that match where I'm like, they looked like, I don't know if Bronson got hurt during it or something, but Ricochet almost like was pulling his punches a little more than you normally see. And it looked there was a part in the match that I'm like, something's off. Like maybe it's because they haven't worked together before. So the chemistry was a little funky, and, he didn't know like how hard can I really slap this big dude without him really getting pissed at me. But yeah. There was a couple of like the hits that he like were almost slow motion as he's tapping him. And I'm like, come on, man, at least like try to lay it in.
Give me something.
But overall, I mean, it was okay. It was an okay show. Cody being attacked was predictable, but it was good. Brock is, a badass. So that stuff was great. But yeah, there was nothing on the show that I thought, there wasn't anything on the show that made me go, I really can't wait for Night of Champions now. It was just kind of like, oh, okay. What now?
Yeah, I mean, you got the predictable sort of status quo contract signing, a little bit of the Irish rap you got from Becky, I thought was almost creative. I didn't hate it. I really liked Trish and the just the vile vibe that she kicked out. I thought that was really strong, and she's absolutely every bit of a heel. And you just think back to, when she backs up and she goes, "Do I look like a sidekick?" And, last night, All Black came out to the ring like she owned the place and did not look like a sidekick and did not act like a sidekick. So this will be a really good match. Spell assume, I know, makes an ass out of you and me, but I think Becky wins. Even though I think if Trish wins, the Saudi crowd would like that because they like the Legends aspect of it. But I could see them putting Becky over and then Trish wanting revenge, so they have another match at SummerSlam or something. But yeah, I definitely didn't mind that.
See, I had an issue with her promo. So I liked the first promo she did where she kind of went heel and talked about why she did it. But everything since then, and it's been eaten. I mean, I finally realized she reminds me of a TED Talk. Like, she's up there and I'm just like, I don't feel like this threatening heel. I just feel like, I'm going to tell you a story. I feel like it's like a motivational TED Talk. And I was just like, she's kind of like, even this one, she was like droning on a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm watching a TED Talk about, how to be an entrepreneur or something. I just couldn't get into the vibe.
How to buy and sell Canadian real estate.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Yeah, I don't understand. And then they hit on, I did like Becky hitting on the, you barked like a dog for McMahon kind of joke and all that. I was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was close to home.
Which is surprising because, you look at Trish and they're trying to portray her as this in-ring superstar who but I mean, she really did some stupid, same old Attitude Era stuff back then. So it really wasn't as groundbreaking as they're trying to make it, rewrite the history to it. But whatever. I mean, she did. That being said, she was amazing. She did really good stuff. But yeah, I love the reference back to that for sure.
Yeah, the work that her and Lita did to move the needle for women's wrestling, I mean, just freaking phenomenal. Wrestlers like Rhea and Zelina, even the work that Melina was doing, really pushed the.
I think it pushed them out of that. Yeah, it pushed them out of the Raw and Panty matches. It pushed them out of that. So yeah, 100% agree with that. But I thought that line of Becky's was like, oh, okay, you're gonna go there.
Coming in hot, yeah. And then the Bronson Reed and Ricochet match. I think I probably need to watch it again and see what the disconnect was, because there were two spots in there where it looked like both of them were either moving too fast or moving too slow, whether it was physically or mentally. There was a little bit of miscommunication, but all in all, both of them phenomenal. Kudos to Bronson Reed getting the victory. I thought that there might be, something else to it just because Bronson Reed cut a promo a little bit earlier. But yeah, I thought that, good showing for Bronson. That Tsunami, no,
I wouldn't want to take it.
Nope, not gonna do it.
Where's Braun?
I'll take a count out.
Where's Braun Strowman been? Like, ever since they got drafted to Raw, I haven't seen him on the show. Because, they were a pretty decent tag team.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was doing a movie or if he was hurt or something. Yeah, hopefully he's not hurt. And, even like Seth Rollins, the production for that movie got delayed, I think, a month. So that's why he's only, been available sparingly. So what did you think about the promo and like the biopic piece with Seth Rollins?
I feel like if anything, they're shoving it down our throats that he's going to win this title, which makes me wonder that he's not. Like,
yeah,
I'm almost like, all right, are they overdoing it? Because they did the same thing last Monday with these vignettes and things, and now it's just a little too much. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of fast forwarded through it, but I started watching and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Did I miss something? Did they do a piece last Friday on AJ Styles?
I don't remember it. Now, they did a little short one on Raw, but I don't remember anything big like they did for Seth Rollins.
Yeah, 3-piece suit like the whole glasses off, Corey Graves. I mean, he does really nice work on his podcast After the Bell, and also the interviews and stuff that he does. And the production works ringside, but it was almost so obvious, or too obvious, to the point where, well, wait a minute, if they move AJ over to Monday night, is the OC going to come with them because they all got drafted together?
Right.
And now you're going to have the OC and Judgment Day doing this whole thing again? Or, I was...
I'm pretty sure it's going to be Rollins.
I think so too. But yeah.
Apparently AJ's in a little bit of trouble now from what he said with the New York Post.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. So he did an interview, I guess, on the New York Post and kind of maybe ran his mouth a little too much and talked about how this new title is just a secondary title.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, because
secondary title,
how could you not look at it as a secondary title when Roman owns it? And then he kind of fixed it by going, well, somebody needs to teach Roman a lesson, and kind of went back into character. But I think he might have gotten a little bit of trouble for that, because that's the one thing they're trying not to make it look like is a... I also, they've decided to continue on the legacy of it. So it'll just show, like, I think it was Randy Orton that held it last, and it'll be Randy Orton, and then there'll be just this big gap, and then whoever wins it will continue on the legacy of that title. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's okay. But
yeah, that almost helps.
Yeah,
but not completely.
It's still very secondary.
Yeah.
And I almost, the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn bit, they did their interview and talking about, and even go back to Friday, like they're doing really good interview stuff. And I don't think they're going to lose it at Night of Champions. However, I would love to see the chaos it would cause if they did.
Oh my God.
I would love to see the meltdown of people. I don't think they will, by the way.
The internet would break.
Oh man,
it would break. Twitter would break. Every streaming service. Rumble. If our fans want to come grab us on Rumble, hop on. We're getting ready to go live. We need a few more followers. Come check it out. That'll probably be broke if they man. There's so many so many different directions you can go. Roman and Solo win. That means he can come over to Monday night, and the combinations of superstars that they're going to put together, random tag teams that they would put together, and it would give them an opportunity. Now Seth is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the last person to beat Roman Reigns. He teams up with someone, Cody or whoever. They go against Solo and Roman. Now you have them in this inner bloodline feud working its way all the way back around to WrestleMania, where Cody Rhodes finally finishes the story. And my thought is he's going to cash in at SummerSlam. But if Roman doesn't make his way over and win the tag team titles, then they're going to redo Roman versus Cody Part 2, and Cody will get his WrestleMania moment, and then he will win the undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship.
The rumors are going out there that they've already got the Raw WrestleMania night main event in the books and ready to go, and it's supposed to be Gunther and Cody. So it makes you go, maybe he is going to win it at SummerSlam, or is he going to defeat Rollins down the road and they're just not going to finish the Roman story? But yeah, that's the What Culture guys brought it up, and they cited a source, and I feel horrible, but I'm not a journalist, so forgive me. But,
is it Boozer?
I don't remember who they cited somebody who said that has been pretty accurate on these.
Yeah, that's Boozer. He has been like 9 out of 10 of the recent, and it's just like very, so he was pretty accurate on some injury returns too, and that'll be something.
I'll tell you, the wording of that too made me go, okay, this could work in WrestleMania's favor if they stick to the brand split. You could literally have a SmackDown WrestleMania and a Raw WrestleMania. So you could have Cody and Gunther main eventing the Raw one, and then, Roman and Solo or Jimmy or whoever is going to be there main eventing the SmackDown one. I'm like, that'll work. That you could build enough stories to fill 2 cards with 2 different rosters that way. I think that'd be a cool way to do it.
Yeah, you just can't be lazy with the booking. And that's why I liked this show, because of like the little threads and the little indicators of, are we going to see a possible turn? Are we going to see some involvement that we weren't expecting? last week with the Finn Balor, being up in the rafters, lack of better terms in the parking area, and with JD McDonough, walking out and stuff like, okay, we're planting some seeds. I like this. And
but
that's what
that was
I felt
last week. Like, I didn't feel that this week. I didn't see JD McDonough at all. The Judgment Day was never really together. It felt almost like a completely different show than last week's that I enjoyed so much.
Yeah, it may be a case of they did two things. They shoved Seth down our throats, and then they just inundated us with Cody and Lesnar to up the ante of hard times for Cody. And yeah, I'll get to the final scene. What I thought of the closing piece of Monday Night Raw. Just, man, I just sat there like, ugh. So yeah, it's a trip.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, what other threads you saw, because I just didn't catch them. I just didn't catch a lot on this show. I felt like they threw the Alpha Academy and Viking Raiders in a match. I didn't see much story behind that, although I'll never complain about seeing Maxine Dupree on. Man, that outfit she was wearing, whew, I didn't know somebody's torso could be so long. But I was surprised they got the win, which is cool. So maybe they're going to push them for some tag team stuff, because Alpha Academy versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn would probably be good story down the line. But the Bronson Reed and Ricochet match, again, what story does that push? It's just two guys together. I do think there's something to the Shinsuke Nakamura Judgment Day thing. He doesn't really have a faction, so I don't know that it'll ever become more than just a couple one-off matches. But, Shinsuke and Finn Balor, of course, they had a great match. Like, when would they not have a good match? It made me go, hey, did these guys ever go against each other in New Japan? Because if so, I want to go find it now, because I bet their New Japan work was pretty damn amazing.
Yeah, and they were both so young, and Shinsuke had short hair.
Yep. And
Finn was even smaller than he is now, and he wasn't as shredded then. He was just thinner. And yeah, they've tussled in the past, so that was pretty cool. So, but
yeah, I didn't see some of the connecting threads that, like, I saw a lot of them last week. I guess maybe because they were pretty obvious last week, but I didn't pay enough attention. I didn't notice a lot of stuff backstage like they did last week, which I really appreciated. I did enjoy the Apollo Crews interview slot, and Rhea and Dom come up, and this is my time. No, I'm gonna. So I thought that interaction was good. Now, did they schedule a match for next week? Because I kind of thought they were supposed to go that tonight or Monday night. Did I miss that match?
Yeah, they had a pretty good match. Dom and Crews.
I missed that. I totally missed the Dom and Apollo Crews match.
Yeah, it was pretty good. The finishing move on that was Dominic flying. I'm talking flying across 3/4 of the ring and hitting a 5-star splash to get the victory. And yeah, that was probably the farthest I've ever seen Dom fly. I was like, dude, you should have jumped from the other corner. I don't know, dude. And yeah, so.
Wow, I can't believe I missed. I even watched the show twice. I don't know. Was it a short? It must have been a short match, and I must have accidentally flipped through it too quick.
Yep. In between commercials, the Alpha Academy Viking Raiders. I thought that Alpha Academy looked really good. Gable looked so strong, and we could hear the Otis chants.
Yeah,
Otis. And I think that's what's going to drive those two apart. And then that'll send Gable into a singles piece, and then Otis will do some kind of maybe does he become the bad guy? Probably becomes the bad. Well, I don't know. Yeah, maybe he becomes the bad guy and changes his ways to be the evil model kind of a thing. But yeah, I thought Gable looked really strong in the match. So
what happened to the other models though? Like, I was thinking about that too. I'm like, why is she with them, like with Otis and Gable, and where are the Maximum Male models? I haven't seen them on TV since the draft either.
Yeah, last time they were on, they were just thrown in the Battle Royal.
Yeah, so maybe there's something to that story too. Because I did notice when they were leaving the ring, Maxine Dupree threw up the shoosh and the thank you at the end. So I'm like, oh, maybe she's going to go and be their managers for a little bit. So maybe you're setting up a feud with the Maximum Male models and Alpha Academy as like your mid-card tag title feud.
Interesting. Yeah.
Like, that could be it.
Yeah, I wish Shinsuke had a faction That I think would be pretty entertaining. I'm trying to think of who you would pair him with, because it's been done a couple of times, and every time they start building a little bit of steam, they get injured, like him and Boogs, and he was with someone else before, and the Miz wanted to, click up or whatever he said. But yeah, that was a really good match. And in between there, they tried to do an update with Cody. Cody's freaking out, going through the whole thing. They're kicking him out. And I thought it was funny when he went to slam the door. It didn't slam. It just closed softly. I was like, dang. So, but the connecting between the entrance, in the ring, backstage, you're back in the ring, and then how the show closes, it was all revolving around a story. And
Agreed.
You're like, okay, I can drink this Kool-Aid. But like you said, though, it's like, why are we only looking at, okay, great, Raquel Rodriguez now has a tag team partner for the women's tag team championship. We didn't really get any update on Liv other than they relinquished the titles. Okay, you could make that part of a story. That might be something. And this would have been a really good opportunity to build some heat for Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. Missed opportunity.
Weren't even there. Yeah.
Missed opportunity big time. So, they, when she came out last week, it was like people were like, who's that? What's going on there? That happens to be the baddest woman on the planet. You guys missed that? And, she's fallen down the card so far that, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say.
She used to be the hottest thing there was, too,
seriously,
man.
Yeah.
She was the show and, worked with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. And now she's, that's a shame. It's a shame. And she did it to herself, mouthing off to the fans and kind of, crapping all over what wrestling was and all this stuff. But hey, they brought her back and paid her the big money. So they obviously didn't mind that much.
Yeah, they're stuck with her now. So got a couple more updates backstage with Cody, and I was just really into it with the Cody thing, and maybe because I'm a Cody mark. And it wasn't until the very end when I was like, wait a minute, am I looking at this completely wrong? And, the matches, the few matches that we had were pretty good. That Dominic Mysterio and Cruz match, Apollo Crews, that match showed the strength of Apollo and the resilience and like the up and coming of Dominic. And I was like, oh man, don't bury Apollo. Like, you just brought him up, you had him cut a promo, and yeah. But from here on out, the crowd was like, it was like the hall monitor was there, and it was so quiet. And it wasn't until
it was weird.
Yeah. And it wasn't until you heard the music hit for Zayn and KO. And then everybody kind of woke up like, all right, I'm good. But the show's almost over at this point. So it was just like, whew. But
I will say there was one part that maybe hyped me up a little bit more than I thought it was going to be, which had nothing, I don't know. It was just when Positive Ali was giving his little promo and talk about, everybody wants me to come out and they think I'm a joke and this and that. And then Brock Lesnar walks by and like bumps the camera, which I thought was a cool little touch where he just kind of walks by it and then looks at me and goes, grow up, kid, or something to that effect.
Get a life, kid.
Yeah, get a life, kid. I'm like, are they going to put the title on Ali? Like, is that going to be the thing where he's going to get just so mad and beat Gunther? I was like, because then you free up Gunther to be a title contender for, down the road for Seth Rollins. And I don't know. It put that little doubt in my head. Like, would they really do that? Like,
yeah,
so that'll be interesting.
Yeah. In the back of my mind, I was like, okay, Ali is somehow going to get involved with this Brock Lesnar thing, but then that would defeat the whole purpose of Cody going through his hard times. And they don't want to stereotype Ali, especially in Saudi, by having Ali attack Brock Lesnar. So I put that to bed. And then when Ali just kind of walked away, like, now I'm wondering, is he going to come out instead of Positive Ali? He's going to come out pissed off Ali. And this instantly pushes it up the card of becoming or having a real chance of being a phenomenal match. or it turns into
Does it
a
get squashed?
4-minute squash. And I hope the latter is not the case.
Yeah, that was when that went down. It did make me go, huh? I'm gonna have to pay attention to that match now because now I'm kind of curious. But yeah, then we got the main event like you were talking about. Decent match. I'm not a fan of the fact that Imperium has lost everything every time they've been on Raw so far. Even with Gunther, like I thought for sure. To be honest with you, I thought Riddle would take the pin. Like Gunther would pin Riddle. But man, Gunther and Riddle in the ring together. I want to see those two going at it. I assume Ali will not win the title, and Riddle will probably be the next challenger, and I could see Riddle winning that down the road for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that would be fantastic. And, does that then lend itself to, in the event that Randy returns, that could be something that connects them. Where were you the whole time I was laying at home? You never checked in on me. You talked about me, but you just used my legacy or, something they use something from back in the day. But yeah, that'll be a great program. Whoever beats Gunther is going to be a made man.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I think they really have to think long and hard about, hey-oh, that's what she said. They've got to make sure that this decision is the right one. And it's not just Brock pinning The Undertaker, which, didn't do anything for him. But then had it been Roman, would it have been wasted, or who else it could it have been? But, hopefully it's not just a wasted loss. And then, what do you do with Imperium while Gunther is, chasing after the world title? Then you got to figure out what are we going to do with the tag team championship. So I think that would make a really cool story. And the things that Riddle could do with that Intercontinental title, it would make him, and he's back, he's healthy, he's not in trouble. And I think that would set up some really cool programs for the summer into heading into WrestleMania. So
yeah,
cool.
I agree. I think him carrying that title wouldn't be a bad thing. And like you said, it frees up Gunther to start the chase. And yeah, I think that'd be good. Now, maybe you don't take it off Gunther just now. Maybe Royal Rumble time frame. You have him lose that title because then it frees him up. Or does he lose it before Rumble and he takes the win in the Rumble and uses that to go after whoever the champion is? So there's some options out there. You've got two ways to build some people. Yeah.
That'd be a really good idea because he didn't win the Rumble this year. He came in second.
And went in like first, right? Or second?
Yep. He was first or second in. Him and Cody were the last two. That would be really good.
Yeah, because now you've set up the Rumble actually started that story, which is cool. Like they entered together and they ended up being, I think, final two or close to it. So they could definitely do something with that.
There you go.
And use that as a story to go forward for sure.
Nice.
Then we get the part you really want to talk about.
Man,
you're excited about.
Okay, so there we are. We're in the locker room. Just a couple dudes, no big deal. And Triple H is like, hey, man, think about the year that you were on the rack. You were injured and, you don't want to go through that again. And Brock is not someone that you want to mess with. Now, keep in mind that the injury that Cody had was a no kidding real injury. He goes off TV. He does some vignettes. He stays in the storyline. He comes back. He triumphs over Evil, wins the Royal Rumble, and now here he is. Main events WrestleMania. Now he starts his hard times. Even though technically he already did his hard times, but whatever. So now if you go, all right, Cody, you're hurt. Brock Lesnar hurt you. We'll see you in a year or 6 months or whatever. Terrible idea because he's already gone down that road. You don't want to bring him back. Then you saddle him up with Seth, beat Seth, but he couldn't beat Roman. Now it makes it even more of a secondary title. I'm like, oh, God, don't do it, man. Don't do it. Then I'm thinking back. Thinking. What?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Coffee in the big time. Now, what connects Triple H and Cody? You think back to Time to Play the Game, The King of Kings, what's about to happen, Double or Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Smashing the Throne.
Smashes the Throne. the throne was Triple H's thing, and that was like multiple WrestleMania entrances, and he's the King of Kings, and I'm going to smash the throne. This is a direct connection. I'm really surprised that they haven't had a storyline that involved a sledgehammer, because A, that's what Cody used, because that was Triple H's thing.
Yeah, the golden sledgehammer.
Yep.
I remember that. Yep.
Now, here we are. Double or Nothing is right around the corner. It's the day after Night of Champions. One's in Saudi, one's in Las Vegas. Now, they're sitting there. Cody's like, oh, I had to come back. I couldn't be a shell of myself. Triple H is like, hey, listen, we're not questioning you. You're a tough man. You're the greatest.
You wrestle with your titty falling off.
Yeah. And then he says, I'm going to fight, and blah, blah, blah. The look on Triple H was a cross between, all right, man, I tried to save you from yourself, but at the same time, I still feel a certain way because you smashed my throne. Although I said it was business, it's not personal, you smashed my throne. And then Cody looks up as Triple H pats him on the knee, pats him on the back, and gives him this look like, wait a minute. What? I just do not want two different ways to look at this. I don't want Triple H getting involved to either help or hurt Cody. I don't think Triple H can because of his ticker. And if he goes in and helps Cody beat Brock, then does Cody really ever finish his story? Oh, you only beat Brock because of Triple H. Boom. Then you discredit Brock if Triple H helps Brock beat Cody. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm just like reading into it, but there is something there that just really intrigues me, that Cody's going to go in there with one arm. He's going to have the old Cowboy Bob Orton cast on. And there was a story that he had done while he was on the Indies with the injury too. So this is sort of like a rehashing of an injury or whatever. But yeah, there's something to that segment that I got to see it. I think Cody gets the win. He may cheat and use that cast.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if he's going to move on or if he's going to have another match with Brock at SummerSlam. But then that takes him away from Money in the Bank, because he should win Money in the Bank, carry it, cash it in, whether it's at SummerSlam or next year or whatever.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't win Money in the Bank and it goes to L.A. Knight. Yeah. But yeah, man, I was just like, I just sat there, I rewound it, and the look on Cody's face, I should have tweeted that picture, just him looking up like, wait a minute, what? And I was like, no, don't do it.
I felt a way about it too. I enjoyed their interaction. And I read to it differently. I read to it more of a respect thing. Like when he said to him, like, what would you do? I read it more like Triple H going, you're right. I would have fought, and I did fight that way. And he just kind of sat down and went, all right, it's up to you then. So I kind of, what I think will probably happen is it'll be an unsanctioned match at Saudi, so that, they'll use that to add the fight thing to it and not make it a straight up wrestling match. So it'll be like maybe a no DQ, or so technically he'll be helping Cody by making it an unsanctioned, false count anywhere, do what you want to do, brutalize each other. But because I just don't see, they keep just talking about the fight word a lot. I want to fight him. Not, we're going to be in a wrestling match, not this and that. It's, I want to fight. So I kind of half expected that to be announced as like a street fight or something. So I was getting more of that they're going to lead that into, Triple H saying, hey, I can't sanction this. Like you're not cleared. And then it'll be a non-sanctioned,
Okay, so he goes to the medical facility in Hershey, Pennsylvania. He goes to the chocolate factory. At the medical facility, they show...
I wonder if their cast all smell like chocolate.
Oh my God. Do you like the caramel or the peanut butter?
Have you ever been there? Have you ever been to Hershey, Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
It smells like chocolate everywhere.
Just
like a chocolate factory.
Yeah, when we were kids, we went. Okay, so you get a report on Friday. You get a report from Adam Pearce, Triple H. Maybe Brock is backstage. He's terrorizing, and he bumps into Triple H and Adam Pearce on Friday. and says, "Hey, did you find me a suitable replacement? Because Cody's he's not going to be there. I hit him with a keg. I stomped him, and then I broke his arm right here in this very ring. And I need another match." He comes out. "You're right. We've been in touch with Cody Rhodes' legal team, and we've written up a document that Cody has already signed for a unsanctioned, they're not going to call it a Saudi street fight or whatever, but they'll call it some sort of unsanctioned...
A Saudi stoning.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, too soon?
Too soon. And
too current.
Yeah, real. So they'll come up with some sort of quirky twist to where it's a unsanctioned match where, the worst thing would be is if they put it in an octagon. That would be the worst. I don't even necessarily want it in a cage, but you don't want and then who do you have as the referee? I guess you could just have a regular referee. Well, no, because it's not sanctioned.
Well, I mean, you'd still have a referee for a non-sanctioned match. Like the Adam Cole, Chris Jericho will have a referee for it, and it's an unsanctioned going into AEW.
True. Yeah. So it's some kind of unsanctioned match. That's how they get around it. Cody gets the win because he uses the cast.
Yeah, I could see that.
And now, hard times. He's beaten Brock Lesnar twice. He's not on TV. Well, yeah, and then he shows up on Monday Night Raw.
Do you have him go right after Rollins? Because he's beaten Rollins every time they face each other. So does he go after Rollins thinking I'm going to beat you and then Rollins beats him? Or I just don't know where the story is going to go. I have a feeling Brock goes over at Night of Champions. Maybe exploits that wrist a little bit. And then we get a rubber match between the two of them down the road, like Hell in the Cell or something, and at SummerSlam or whatever it is. I just think if they're trying to build Cody, man, I don't know. I don't know where they're going to do with it, to be honest with you, because if he beats Brock's not one. So does he beat Brock so bad that Brock's off TV for a while and he just disappears and goes away again? Or does he get another one where he, like you said, hits him with a cast, pins him, gets a quick 1, 2, 3, and then Brock just gives up on it? Like there's just something, and I don't think there's nothing to the fact that Brock looked at that title when he walked by when they announced it. So, maybe we do see Cody get beat badly and he's off TV for a few weeks, and you've got Brock chasing after Seth Rollins. Maybe Brock wins the title from Seth Rollins, and that's when Cody comes back in. Or, although I don't want to, I'm with you though. I think if you pull Cody off TV again, you're really cooling him down again. And I don't know that that's a good, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do this.
Yeah. Connecting Night of Champions to Money in the Bank to SummerSlam. How do you book that to where he gets time at the medical facility to heal up, but he's still relevant and he's still in a match?
I got it. Or I got an idea. What if Money in the Bank, Brock wins it. So Brock wins Money in the Bank, and then he pulls a swerve kind of like Seth Rollins did to him. So that night, whoever Seth Rollins is fighting for Money in the Bank or at the Money in the Bank title, he waits to the end of the match, cashes in, and that's how he gets the title from Rollins. And then now you build Brock and Cody to SummerSlam for Cody to get the title back from him. That would be a way to do it. And that would be a callback to something that Seth Rollins did to Brock, where he cashed it in that night when they were having their feud at Money in the Bank. It was him and Roman. Him and Roman were doing that match, and he cashed it in at the very end and pinned him to win the title. So that'd be a way to do it. Now you're connecting, although that might be AEW thinking, but now you're connecting a few storylines. You've got Cody. Maybe you don't even have him off TV. You just have him injured, and he's on TV talking about what he's going to do, or he comes out and maybe he's only off a couple weeks, and he comes out and says or maybe he's in Money in the Bank and he doesn't win Money in the Bank. Who knows? There's things to do, but
yeah, that's a good point, because you figure you're not going to have a pay-per-view in June, so that's 4 weeks, and then you have the Bash 4th of July, and I think Money in the Bank, is that the second week in July?
And then SummerSlam's like the end of July, isn't it? Beginning of August.
First
so
week
it's very
in August,
close. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's July 1st. So you get, so Cody gets this whole month to lick his wounds. Very interesting. This could be fun.
Now, I think the downside is giving Brock the Money in the Bank sucks, because
yeah, you want that to make people.
Yeah. So the other thing you can do is they hurt Cody. Or maybe Cody does win. He wins this match at Night of Champions, but he's not in any position to continue fighting for 3-4 weeks or whatever. He's cutting promos or whatever. And in that time, Brock goes after Seth Rollins. Maybe at Money in the Bank, it's Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar, straight up title match. Cody comes into the, and then Cody wins Money in the Bank and challenges Brock at SummerSlam. I just think the way they're building it, I think that's going to be the big Cody finishing his story, is beating Brock Lesnar for the title. Instead of, like, I prognosticated before about how it should be. I thought you could have Cody win and then Brock chasing him. I think maybe flipping it around would be an okay way to do it. But on the same token, are you really going to take that away from Seth Rollins right away? You're going to give it to him to turn around and take it?
Well, the talk was that he's interested in doing more movies.
I was just going to say, but I've heard he's been signed up for a couple movies. So maybe the fact that he's going part-time, you're going to give it to Brock, who is also part-time, just to get it back to Cody, who is not part-time. He's full-time. He's not doing anything that's...
Wow.
So
Dude.
It'd be interesting. Yeah, fun stuff, man.
Woo.
That's the part of the Raw I liked, was the Cody...
Yeah.
Because that's the part we can spend time talking about. Everything else was just like, yeah, it happened. It was a match.
Yeah.
And, when we get into talking to some of the AEW stuff, I think that's why I get so passionate, is because there's so much throughout the show. And I miss that in Raw, and we had that last Raw. So this Raw, we didn't have it. I only gave it 2.5 beards. I didn't think it was nearly as good as last week, and it was not as terrible as some of the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I was on the edge of my seat. I want to go back and watch it again, because just the way you talked about it, I'm like, I wonder if I missed something in a couple of those segments. Now, think back to when you had Roman Reigns winning at WrestleMania. Triple H was there celebrating with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. Mr. Heyman, as Cody calls him.
And Paul Heyman made a point to say at the beginning of the show, I had nothing to do with that. Yep. I thought about that too.
I was like, So instantly I was like, okay, you're connecting me back to WrestleMania, which, WrestleMania wasn't even that long ago, but it feels like it was 8 years ago, because the speed of wrestling and sports entertainment and social media
life.
And, life. Yeah. Now you have, it's just, golly, Bob Howdy. So, there's so many twists and turns you can do. And then you intertwine them with the tag team title match with Roman and Solo. If Roman and Solo win, now they can go back and forth on each show. Now, I don't think they should be allowed to show up just willy-nilly. I think it should be only in defense of the tag team championship. I don't get paid to think, therefore it would give them the opportunity. But with Roman being part-time already, are you going to have him waste an appearance on TV? And I say waste, not disrespectfully, but are you going to waste an appearance on TV in a tag team match that McMahon, he doesn't even like tag team? So that's, that's the other part. This would be a cool story. Now, okay, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens win because of something weird, outside interference, or it's just a straight up haluva kick, pop-up powerbomb, stunner, 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. Who takes the pin?
Oh, Solo.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Solo's absolutely going to take the pin. Solo takes the pin. See, now we're diving into another podcast where we're going to prognosticate. But yeah, Solo will take the pin, because I think that leads more into the Bloodline story. And now Roman can blame him for the loss. I still haven't lost. It's you and your brothers. You guys are the weak link. You guys are the ones that can't do it. Hey, look who I brought in instead. And maybe he brings in, some of the rumored people that are out there that want to join the Bloodline. Who knows?
Oh, man. Maybe Tama shows up. Now you've got Afa and Sika at the top of the well, I don't think they would travel to Saudi.
No.
Or maybe they're on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown or something. And but I loved when Kevin Owens, the true pillars. I thought it was a little odd that he used the word pillars of the Bloodline.
Yeah, the Usos. So I thought that was good stuff. That's what I was just going to say. Man. I like that.
So do you think we see some sort of interaction between Friday and Night of Champions between Jimmy and Sammy, or does Jay and Sammy, or I'm not sure. Sammy and Kevin end up on Friday night talking about, we're going to do this to your tribal chief and we're going to do this to the street champ, and you don't know fighting like I know fighting. They leave the ring. There's Jimmy and Jay. There's some kind of energy exchanged, and then show ends, and now here we are for a Saudi show, which is, I think, at like
1 p.m.
Yeah, early in the morning. So the pre-show will start at noon, and woo, man.
Yeah, 1 p.m. So, yeah. So how many beers did you give it?
I gave it 3 beards. I almost gave it 3.5 because I really enjoyed.
I'd have thought about you a different way. I'm just kidding.
I don't want to let him down. But
just kidding.
I gave it 3 beards. I thought it was really entertaining. It really like got my WWE brain flowing. And although all the other storylines were ignored, there was no talk of the SmackDown Women's Champion who's on Raw and her title defense against Natalya, other than a throwaway line in an interrupted interview. And so that was kind of like okay, well, I guess we don't care about the women's championship, but whatever, even though it's Night of Champions. So we'll see what comes of that match. I think it has a lot of potential. Got to let it breathe. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody. You know what time it is. It's time for me to plug our stuff. Follow us at No Shave Man Cave. I'm not even going to go through it all. Y'all know where it is. At No Shave Man Cave, wherever you get podcasts. Hit us on the socials, No Shave Man Cave. We're available on all of them, including Rumble. We're trying to build a Rumble following. Please click on over there. Hit us up with a subscribe. It's a growing platform. We are not sponsored by them, so I'm not trying to talk it up just because, but it is a growing platform, and they got some pretty good stuff over there, and they're really good for content creators who have just recently broke in. So it's kind of nice to see some of the younger content, not that we're young, some of the newer content creators over in that space. So if you don't mind, jump over there. Please subscribe wherever you listen to it. Subscribing's easy. It doesn't cost anything. You just hit that button. It's free, and it helps us out, helps us get the algorithm going our way. We appreciate everything. It's that time for the hot tag.
Bump and feed. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for all the love. Can't tell you enough. Like, share, subscribe. Come check us out at the No Shave Man Cave. And if you want us to talk about something, or you feel a certain way about your Rushmore, your whatever, hit us up on the old Twitter machine at No Shave Man Cave. Definitely swing on by the YouTube channel for the No Shave Man Cave. It's growing every day. We have about 150 videos and shorts with varied topics, all wrestling, a couple of bourbon, and some cigar reviews by JT himself. So sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. And until next time, my friends, my fam, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you on the floor.
You've been listening to the No Shave Man Cave.
If it's pro wrestling, we're talking about it. Unless we see something shiny and wander off into the woods. If you hang around long enough, we'll eventually come back. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Fire off your comments and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit us up on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at No Shave Men Cave. Y'all be cool, and we'll see you next time on the No Shave Men Cave.